Welcome to Little Miss Movies Podcast, where two movie-obsessed parents make their 10-year-old watch movies she'd never watch otherwise. This is episode number 13, The Last Dragon.
Hello and welcome to Little Miss Movies Podcast. I'm Gable, aka Little Miss Movies. I'm 10 years old, almost 11, and in 5th grade. And I like Harry Potter, Legend of Zelda, Minecraft, Animal Crossing, The Simpsons, TV, and movies.
I'm Josh. I'm in the 6th grade. At 41, it's really sad for me. I'm very sorry. I'm gonna get it right eventually, guys. I'm a TV writer and comic book writer and write music, and I also love TV and movies. And I'm her dad.
Hi, I'm Christina, and I'm a librarian and archivist, and I'm also a writer. I have a book on Jane Russell coming out this June, and I am the mom of Little Miss Movies.
And this is the Little Miss Movies podcast.
Yes, it is.
Where, Gable, what do we do here? I mean, I said it a few seconds ago, but my voice sounded totally different because I do it after we record, and my voice is usually burned out by then, so I sound all announcery. But what is it that we do?
My parents make me watch movies, and then we watch the movies, of course, and then we talk about them on this podcast.
And are they movies that you're like, well, that's a movie I'm definitely going to see?
No.
I see. It's interesting.
Except for the first movie that we ever did.
Which was?
Jaws.
Well, yeah, but you
I feel like we had to force you to watch.
Oh yeah,
we forced you.
No,
I don't know. Yes, we did. I don't know. I realized that was like 8 months ago, or when maybe it was whenever this. I don't know. It was sometime in the last year or 10. No, you did not want to watch Jaws.
Yeah, I did.
No.
Yeah.
No. Maybe like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th time you did, but the first time you did not want to watch Jaws.
We have been celebrating, for February, we've been celebrating Black History Month, and we did something a little bit different than we've been doing the rest of our episodes, which is we've reached out to some of our Black friends to get recommendations for movies that meant something to them when they were Gable's age or thereabouts. And we have gotten them to kind of tell us why they were important to them, and then, showed them to Gable to get her feedback. So if you go back and listen to our past 2 episodes, you will hear those. And this week's episode, we got another buddy of mine. His name is D'eric Hughe. He is a television writer. He has worked on, he's nerd royalty, I think you would call him. He worked on Warehouse 13. Then he went on to work on Arrow, and he worked on The Flash. He worked on Scream. He worked on the not the original Beauty and the Beast and not the cartoon Beauty and the Beast, but he worked on, there was a TV version of it that came out in 2015, 2016.
When you say not the original, not the cartoon.
Not the original TV show with Ron Perlman.
That's what I was going to, that's what I wanted to clarify. That's what you meant by original.
No, and I weirdly know a bunch of people who worked on that show, but none of them ever worked with each other.
Really?
Yeah.
You know a bunch of people that worked on?
Yeah, and it wasn't on for very long, so I'm not exactly sure.
It?
No, it was on for 2 seasons.
That's it?
No, not that one. The new one. I don't know people who worked on the original one.
Okay, so not the Ron Perlman.
No, not the Ron Perlman
Not
one.
the Ron Perlman one.
The Ron Perlman, Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton one. Oh, I was going to be very excited that you knew a bunch of people that worked on that one.
No,
that was very exciting.
This one.
Okay.
This one, newer one. Anyways, yeah. So
we're losing Gable. She's glazing over.
More importantly, he worked on The Flash and Arrow, and Scream, which is rad. So there you go.
I don't know what any of those are except for The Flash.
You know what Flash? You know
you
what Arrow is?
You used to watch The Flash with us. The TV
I
show.
I don't know what any of those are except The Flash.
You know what Arrow is? Green Arrow. You know Arrow. It's the other. It's one of the other shows with the Flash on it. Look at that face. Oh my God. Anyways, we went to my buddy D'eric, and he came back with a crazy movie that I loved as a kid and almost completely forgot about. So here you go. Here's what D'eric had to say for us.
Okay, first off, 2 minutes is not a lot of time, not a lot of real estate, so I'm gonna have to run through this more like super speedy fast. What's up, Gable? What's up, Joshua? Thanks so much for letting me talk about The Last Dragon, a movie that came out in 1985. It's a martial arts fantasy action flick. That has there hasn't been anything like it since then that I can think of off the top of my head, especially when it comes to like representation in the black community. And Timac was a young actor who was only 19, playing a character named Leroy Green, who actually called himself Bruce Leroy because his idol and the person that he wanted to become was Bruce Lee, I should say. And he studied martial arts and was really good at it. But then his master said, "Okay, I taught you all I can teach you. Now you have to go out and find the master." So this is a story mostly about this guy discovering who he is. Meanwhile, going up against a dangerous adversary, the baddest mofo in New York City, the Shogun of Harlem himself, Shonuff, and played by the late but brilliant actor named Julius Carry. For those that know, also was in Briscoe County Jr., another really cool show. And so he calls himself the master because he comes in, he says, "Who's the master?" And everybody's like, "Show enough." And he's like, "You're damn right." Except Bruce Leroy, who refuses to bow and not acknowledge that he's a master. And in protecting other people from the Shogun of Harlem, including Vanity, who was a singer actor at the time, and the potential love interest in this movie. So wrapping things up real quick, a lot of cool, fun martial arts in there, music videos because it was Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. Fun movie that all around. It was influential for me because seeing a mixed character on screen with it and embracing what I love, which was martial arts and fantasy and cool stuff. So it's running a little bit longer, but that is Barry Gordy's Last Dragon. I hope you enjoy it. And until next time.
Thank you so much, D'eric. And so we get to The Last Dragon, or as it is properly known, Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. And I think D'eric pretty much summed up the plot very well. This movie is like aching with 1980s, right? Like
aching's a good description of it.
Like
yes.
It's really like bursting at the seams with the 1980s.
Oh, so completely. Yeah.
It's like almost to like Desperately Seeking Susan, like that level of 80s.
It's more.
Is it really? You think so?
Yeah.
Like if Madonna was in it, that's probably the only way it could be more.
Yeah, because even Desperately Seeking Susan has Madonna music. It doesn't have like Madonna videos, and this thing has straight up
just music videos. Just DeBarge, just doing a DeBarge video.
Yes.
So Gable, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil what she's going to say, but I know this was a very unique experience for you, Gable. And so no judgment. What did you think?
I did not like it very much.
Oh, it's so crushing. Do you want to talk about, in like a broad sense, what you didn't like about it?
I just didn't like the violence, the karate chop, and how like there's a lot of times they're doing karate and then like to each other, and there's like a bunch of people died. By karate? Yeah.
They don't die.
Yeah, they do.
There's no death. There's
like 2 deaths.
No, there's no death. Is there actually death in it?
Gosh, I don't.
It's like pretty tame. It's a PG-13. Like there's no death. There's no sex.
Do they just knock them all out?
Yeah, everyone just gets knocked out. It's like cartoon
bloody
violence.
noses.
Bloody noses. Lots of blood. Is it the bloody noses?
Lots of blood.
What did you think about like the feel of the movie? Like what was sort of like how the movie looked and like how people were acting in it and sort of like the world that the movie took place in?
I mean, it's what I imagined the 1980s were like, because I was not alive then.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what I imagine. You guys both confirmed. So I'll just say, like, I imagine that that's what they were like. And I thought that aspect of it was cool. What else?
And what about all the music?
The music was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music was pretty cool.
Have you seen movies that have that like music, sort of not a musical, but still has that much music in them?
She's thinking.
I want to say Jaws.
Has
That's
much?
That's
Not
different.
that
Well,
one. It has the dud and dud.
Well, that's a
There's all
score.
that stuff.
That's a score. So, but this is more just like kind of straight up like songs, like
Like the
songs
music-
with singing and
Right. Like the
Oh.
music is not. So you have like traditional movies have score, and score is music that is not explained. It's just music that is like an artistic choice,
background.
right? That's in the
Yeah.
background.
Also, like in Animal Crossing.
Like in Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Yes, that is
Just random
certainly
music
the most
playing
obvious
everywhere.
example of
Yes.
score you can think of. And
Yeah.
then you have musicals where the music is sort of inexplicable,
like My Fair Lady, where they
But
just start
it's-
singing.
but it's part of the story, right? Like they get to a point in the story where they can't move forward in any way other than by singing. So therefore, they sing a scene. They sing whatever they
also-
want to say.
Musicals are also like, they can be like Hamilton, where it's literally no talking.
Right. That's actually
just all stuff.
technically
It's an opera.
it's an opera.
What?
That's an opera.
What?
Hamilton is. It's actually I think you called it an operetta because of the length. It is not a full opera length. I think you could probably call it.
If Hamilton was any longer, I would not like it.
That's ridiculous. You would love it. You would be so happy if there was more of it.
I just wouldn't watch the whole thing of it then.
Well, you'd break it up. What this does that's neat is that the music is like it's almost like an intermission, right? Like the music is it's just in it. Like it's just part of the movie without being part of the plot. You know? So it's almost like it gives you little like breathers throughout the movie just to watch like the glam and the shape that the music gives the movie.
And also, so the producer of the movie, Barry Gordy, he founded and ran Motown Records. And so this was a way for him to promote, that's our dog in the background walking around. This was a way for him to promote his music, so, that he had his bands that he had under contract, or his musical artists that he had under contract. And it worked, because that Rhythm of the Night was a huge, huge hit, which I didn't even realize it was from this movie. So it is a clever way of for Barry Gordy to promote all kinds of things under his umbrella.
Well, and that's the other thing that's sort of amazing about this movie is that it was a giant hit. Like it was actually like a very, very, very big hit, beyond like what I think even they expected it to do. And like its soundtrack, they said there's a documentary on the DVD talking about it, that there's like the soundtrack went platinum.
Yeah, they said at least went gold,
Yeah.
but possibly platinum. I had never seen this movie before, and I thought it was fun. I thought it was a super fun movie. Didn't you think she's shaking her head? Oh, come on. Shonuff? You didn't think he was just an awesome character?
He was the bad guy.
He was the bad guy.
Our
Yeah.
dogs are going insane.
He was weird.
He was weird.
He was very weird.
Wasn't he good? He'd be like, when he's on screen.
Good actor, but very weird character.
He was a good
That worked.
actor, and it was a weird character.
That worked.
Yeah, that does work. Absolutely. Have you seen The Karate Kid? Have we showed it to you?
Yeah,
Did you like The Karate Kid?
I think so. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember. I think it was like 2 years ago.
Oh, so back then you liked karate? 'Cause I remember you liking The Karate Kid.
I don't remember.
It is very good. We should show you the Karate Kid.
Again.
Again, yeah.
Well, so this movie is it's like sort of a culmination of an entire like genre of movies that really found its footing in the 70s, which are known as blaxploitation movies. And what those movies were is it was essentially taking advantage of the urban market, right? Most movies were predominantly made for white audiences. Black audiences weren't given representation, right? You didn't really see black people in movies. And what happened was, I'm pretty sure it's the first one. There's a movie called Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song that you will not see for many years, but when you do, it is awesome. That was made by an actor, director, writer named Melvin Van Peebles. And it's a super low budget movie, and it is so cool. Like, it is just awesome. And it's essentially sort of like, it's kind of like this. It's dirtier and it's meaner, and the violence is like more extreme. And there's
Yeah, does not sound like something I would like.
well, but stay with me. And there's more nudity and there's more like all that stuff. It's very intense, but it's also all like the whole cast pretty much is black. The whole production team was black. Everybody involved in the movie was black. And because of that, it really, like, they targeted a black audience. And this tiny little low budget movie was a gigantic hit based on how much it cost, which then led to all of these producers realizing, all these white producers for the most part, realizing, oh, so we just can make these movies and make a ton of money. Making low budget action movies with a black cast, or generally a black star and then a white cast, using the same actors that they were using on their other low budget movies, and marketing them to a black audience. And this whole genre of movies came out that was like kind of awesome. Like, they really managed to make a bunch of super iconic movies with really great actors who wouldn't have had the opportunity to make anything. But they also became very inauthentic, because they weren't being made by black people anymore. They're actually being made by a lot of, written and directed by a lot of white guys. And so because of that, they became very cartoonish, and you got lots of sort of stereotypical depictions of, both like what it was like in poor neighborhoods, what black people's lives were like what it was like to be a black woman in particular. Like, black women tended to be treated incredibly badly in these movies. There's also Pam Grier, who, while being treated terribly in those movies, was also always totally kick-ass and awesome. But so you had this trend that went on and on. When you get to The Last Dragon, the thing about the movie that's so cool is that Barry Gordy understood about blaxploitation. He understood that was a genre, and he understood it was a way to make money. But he managed to do it in a way where the characters all have dignity, right? That, like, that Bruce Leroy is silly and it's goofy, but it's on purpose, and it's with, it's done tongue-in-cheek in the best way. Like, it's totally self-aware while also being awesome, and being, like, it has the movie, it's hilarious to say it, but, like, the movie has a big heart, like, it's actually about somebody trying to trying to find balance and accomplish something in a world that has no interest in it, which I think is pretty cool.
Or is actively working against it.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what I'm showing you guys something. Yeah, it is pretty cool that even though, like, everybody's like, no, you can't do this, or whatever they're doing, then he's just like, nope, I'm gonna do this anyways. It's cool.
Do you think, so violence aside, like, do you think there's lessons in the movie, or do you feel like it was mostly just people kicking each other in the face and action and like romance stuff? Or do you feel like there was like a moral center to the movie?
I think it was like all three of those, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the lessons is, like, even if people are actively working against you, or like they're trying to tell you, like, you can't do this, just keep doing it if you really want to. Like, if you want to. Like, with something that you like if people were, like, actively going against Animal Crossing, which I don't know why
always
they
comes
would.
back to Animal Crossing. It's very strange.
Animal Crossing's
Sure.
awesome. Then, like, I'd just be like, nope, I'm gonna keep doing Animal Crossing.
Well, it's interesting. Again, like, it follows, and we've talked about it before. I know we've talked about it for other movies, right? Like, it's a hero's journey story, right? Because what happens at the beginning is he's
just like, no, I'm not ready to go.
Right? He's told there's something he wants.
Which that's like the refusal of the cause. Like, he's just like, no,
I'm not ready, right?
I'm not going.
Right? I'm not ready for it. And then by the middle of the movie, what happens?
He's out. He's going crazy.
There's no way I can do this. Like, I have no ability. I can barely cope, right? I can't be your bodyguard. Is literally that's that scene, right? I'm no master. I can't be your bodyguard. And then what happens 3/4 of the way through?
He's like, I can do this.
Because where's the master? I am the master.
In his head, and he says, like, in his head.
Yes, I am the master. That's what he says.
I know.
So, I mean, like, all those things, and again, like what you get to do and what this movie does, what I think this movie does really well is it follows all that stuff. It follows all of those mechanics that you need to do a hero's journey. And because it does that, it gets to be weird and it gets to be funny and it gets to do all sorts of like odd, just very odd choices. Like the bad guy's girlfriend who makes her music videos. And they're just completely bonkers.
They're so weird.
Right?
Why? Why would anybody like those?
I mean, music videos in the 80s.
Were weird.
Music video. If by weird you mean just outrageously awesome, yes. Yes, they were. But that's
weirdly outrageously awesome. Is that
yeah.
like?
As silly as the video is, it's really not that far off from what music videos were in the 80s.
Okay, I'm glad I wasn't alive then.
Oh, it was fun.
No.
It was fun. I'd come home from school and just watch MTV and
Just Cyndi Lauper, only Cyndi Lauper videos. If you want to just do that, like that's pretty close.
oh god, it really is. Yeah. Oh, I should show you the She-Bop video.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Just to listen to the
You like Cyndi
lyrics.
Lauper. You have no complaints.
That's
about
girls
Cyndi
just
Lauper.
want to have fun.
Oh, okay.
And time
Which
after
I don't
time.
even know if you've seen the. I don't know if you've seen that video yet.
No.
Or Goonies, the Goonies video. Goonies are
What?
good enough.
The theme song for the Goonies with Cyndi Lauper. I'm surprised I haven't played more Cyndi Lauper for you. I loved her. So that music video is, and she's dressed up like Madonna, so it's not that far off from what videos were in 1985.
And then the woman who actually plays the girlfriend is a big Broadway star. Like she went on after the movie to become like one of the biggest stars on Broadway. She played one of the female leads in Guys and Dolls, like in the big production of Guys and Dolls.
No, the thing, and that's the thing. Like like the actors and they're super earnest. Like for as like deliberately kind of goofy as the movie can be at times. Like they're like when she has her like big dramatic scene, like I was like, oh my god, like I was into it. Like she really gives it her all. And so I think that's one of the reasons why it works, because I think all of the cast members like they really buy into it. They're definitely not dialing it in, and I think they're really compelling because of that.
Yeah, and the cast in general is ridiculous. Like it's genuinely, like, let's see who's in it. Vanity, which we talked about already, right? Then Faith Prince, who's the girlfriend.
And then in a very small role, William H.
Macy shows up,
who is like 80s out.
Yeah.
He's
a very, very
Yeah.
he's a very famous actor who's been nominated, if not won, Academy Awards.
Probably won Academy Awards. He's like the scene when Vanity needs to go on the set to perform, and he keeps telling her, "You have like 2 minutes. Or he's trying to convince her to play the video of the bad guy. And he's like a blonde guy, and he has just a very obnoxious 80s outfit on.
Nope.
He's in it for like 3 minutes, but yeah, he's like a very respected actor.
Nope.
Keisha Knight Pullman.
Yeah, Rudy from the
Rudy
Cosby
from
Show
the
is in
Cosby
it.
Show, who you don't know, but she's in it. Like this is right before the Cosby Show, or was it during? Was the Cosby Show already on?
I mean, it was 85.
When did Cosby Show start? Like
I think
84?
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
She might have already been on it or been
Yeah,
about to be on it. Ernie Reyes Jr. is in it, who is in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. He's the little kid, like the real little kid who keeps saving him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the movie's it's got like the cast is great. Timac, who's the main guy, had never been in anything before, and like because of how weird he is, he's he's just super earnest and sweet, like, and it works, right? Like he's really likable, and like Derek said, the Julius Carey who plays Shonuff, who like just amazing.
He's amazing.
Just he's that we call that chewing up the scenery, Gable.
Yeah, that.
What do you think about that?
That's weird.
Does that sound accurate for what he does?
That
he's chewing up the scenery.
He's the evil.
Yeah.
The bad guy.
Yeah.
Who like the not like the guy with like the music video with the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Shonuff.
Okay, yeah, that's accurate.
Shonuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's accurate.
That's accurate. Yeah.
He starts like going like rah, 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 rah.
Yeah.
starts like breaking up the scenery.
Yes.
So I guess
It's eating it. It's like you're literally like he's going so crazy he is chewing up the scenery.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, because we've talked about this when we aren't recording, while you were watching it, what was the thing that you did? Like, what was the part of it? Even though you didn't like it because of the violence, what was the thing? What were the things about it that you did like? Like, what were the things that you thought were really good? Oh, we stumped her. You did like it. You were laughing and having fun. We were watching it.
What?
You were?
No,
Yes, you
I
were.
wasn't. No, I wasn't. That was
You're the
afterwards.
worst.
That was afterwards.
You're the worst.
The glow thing was weird.
The what?
The glow thing was weird. They literally lit up.
Yeah, they have they randomly have
Having
superpowers
at the
all of a
end.
sudden. It's
That
the
was
best.
so weird.
He's the master. That's what happens when you're the master, Gable. That's
Is
what
that
happens.
you start glowing and you get superhuman?
He found
and
the
you
glow.
get like Superman strength.
Yeah.
Yeah, he found the glow.
Yep. He found it.
Nope, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like I said earlier, I thought they did a really good job of like sets and costumes and music and stuff.
Yeah.
And that music video was weird.
The set, like where they do the music videos, where they have like the music video show, like that set was fantastic. And didn't you say, Josh, you read somewhere that Diana Ross, like
Apparently, Diana Ross came to set, and she liked the set so much that she asked Barry Gordy if she could use it for her next tour. And so apparently, that is also that is her touring set that she was on.
that is amazing. But I like how like some of the characters will like from like a cultural standpoint, they don't, like necessarily always like assume the expected identities. So, Leroy, he dresses like Bruce Lee the whole time. And when he's like, wandering the streets of New York looking for the master, he's completely like dressed up like Bruce Lee. And then you have like the three guys at the fortune cookie shop that are, acting kind of like urban black guys out front, like where
They're doing like an R&B. They're doing like an R&B rap song together.
Yeah,
and are hysterical. Like
and
they're hysterical.
Yeah, and that his like Leroy's parents like working in it. They
own a
like a very Italian looking pizza place.
I want to go to that pizza place.
Yeah, where they wear like the little chef's hats.
I want to go to that pizza place.
Yeah, I do miss New York pizza. New York pizza sounds good.
I love
I
it.
didn't
It's
like,
also a very. It's
I
also,
didn't
New
like
York.
New York pizza because it was deep dish, and I don't like deep dish.
no, that's
pizza.
Chicago.
No,
honey.
that's Chicago.
New York
New York
is
is-
New York is the big giant flat pieces.
Oh yeah, I didn't like it.
You
You're
didn't like
crazy.
the New York pizza?
I don't even know who you are anymore.
Gable.
It was bad enough that you did not love The Last Dragon.
Yeah, we're gonna lose listeners. You saying you don't like New York pizza?
I mean, not liking Chicago pizza is a crime, also.
Yeah.
No, I don't like deep dish.
But that's Chicago pizza.
I also haven't even
New
tried
York-
Chicago
New-
pizza.
New York is not deep dish though.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I remember those pizzas were like as big as your
the
head.
slices were huge. Yeah.
I remember the full pizza was like as big as my head and your head combined.
Now I miss
And the slices were like as big as my hand.
I miss New York pizza. So yeah.
Moving back to the movie.
Yeah, I don't even remember where we
No,
were.
the other thing about the movie, and this is our fault because we actually started Enter the Dragon and then didn't finish it. But the way that they use Bruce Lee, like Bruce Lee is a character, and Bruce Lee is an actor, and like the legend of him is such a big thing in the world, but especially in America, because he was one of the first Asian actors to actually really like break through. Like he was a superstar here. He was on a TV show. He was on the Green Hornet. He sort of like brought the concept of karate, like as a karate movie or kung fu, to America. When he first moved here, he was living in LA and he was teaching actors and actresses his school of karate. And then his look and feel and sort of like his mentality really like influenced how people saw, how white people in particular, but also the black community, saw Asia and saw Asian culture. And that's sort of, again, like that's what this movie is about that like long shadow that Bruce Lee sort of cast on people. And then the way that they use him and that they actually use footage from those movies is, and again, I totally forgot, like having not seen it in so long, I totally forgot about it. But like the way they use it is amazing. Where like even to the point where they're mirroring, like when they first have the fight scene, there's the fight scene in the movie theater at the beginning, and they're literally like doing the fight that's on screen. They're doing in the theater, like they're mirrors of each other, which is just super cool. Like it's an obvious but like never really done, and just super super well done.
Yeah, and I also, when we were watching the documentary that was on the DVD, and I think it was the person who wrote it, said that scene in the movie theater where they're watching the Bruce Lee movie was, very much kind of mirrored New York at that time, that they would show these Bruce Lee movies at the theater and all the kids would go watch it, which, makes me sad in a way that that's just not a thing anymore. Because growing up, like we would go to revivals all the time, and there was, so much of a way to discover different movies and to do it, because you can discover movies, I guess, if you want, if you have, people recommend them. And I think it's, it's getting harder and harder now with streaming, which is one of the reasons why, like, we want to show these movies to you, to share them with you, because it's really important to us. But the discovery levels just aren't there anymore. So when we were kids, you would turn, like, Bruce Lee movies would just be on TV. You would just turn them on and see them. And, lots of different types of movies, they would just be on. And then there would be the revivals that you could go to. And that is vanished, like it pretty much all but vanished, which I think is very sad that, in this movie, they're mirroring something that was a very like shared experience for the youth in this community. And that's just something that's not really possible anymore.
When we because we didn't in Pittsburgh, we didn't have revival houses really. There was, God, I'm trying to think if we had any.
Really, because even like where I lived in Glendora, this little, the town where I grew up in, like there was a movie theater there. It was just like an independently owned single screen movie theater. And on the weekends, they would do like 12 and under movies. Like you couldn't get into the theater if you were over 12. And then they would just, they would show like kid appropriate movies and cartoons and shorts. And so it was like this great like experience for the kids in the neighborhood. And I don't know where you just can't find things like that anymore.
I mean, but we had, just because we had a bunch of like non-network channels, right? Like all the different broadcast channels. So I saw that stuff on TV late at night, and like it took me like through to adulthood to realize what a lot of the movies I saw were. So like I saw like the Shaw Brothers, the 36 Chambers movies that I keep trying to make you watch, Gable.
No.
Those movies that I saw them just on TV and never knew what they were.
Yeah.
Because you would just sort of see
turn
them.
It on.
There'd just be a chunk of the movie, and then you'd watch it, and then you'd have to go do something, so you'd walk away. And now, like, look, the upshot is that you can actually see things from beginning to end. But sort of the downside is that it feels like you have to purposefully decide to watch them.
Yeah, you have to know what you want to watch. You have to, like actually seek it out. You can't even with the loss of the video store, like we would just go, like we would always go to the video rental store on Fridays and just go look at the wall of videos and pick out what we wanted to watch. And you would just be exposed to things that you would never find otherwise. So what I'm saying is, Gable, we are doing you a tremendous service. That's what I'm saying.
And that's why we take you out on school nights when we shouldn't take you out, to go to the drive-in.
To go to the Hollywood Legion drive-in.
And make you tired for school the next day because we're jerks.
Yeah. But just getting back to that scene, yes, like the choreography is amazing, and that's when we're introduced to the adversary. But for me, it's also this like wonderful little time capsule of a community of kids like having this shared discovery of film.
Oh no, that's like when I went to college in Boston, like I'm pretty sure by far like my favorite thing about that city was that there were multiple rep houses, and so I would go to the movies as many nights a week as I could.
Yeah.
And then I worked at a movie theater, so we could switch. We had free tickets to go to any theater in town, so I would go whenever I wasn't working. I would be at one of the other movie theaters seeing movies. Mm-hmm. When I lived there over the summers when I wasn't in school, so I would just go and nonstop just see a movie every night.
Yeah. Here too, like we used to have all around. Like there was like a theater in San Dimas, and Pasadena had a couple of rep houses, and worst case, go into Hollywood and Los Angeles, and so much of that's disappeared.
Yeah, it's.
Then all the drive-ins appeared again because of the pandemic.
And the drive-ins are
so
appearing.
thank you for that pandemic. But that's basically all.
That's basically yeah.
and thank you for Animal Crossing. And lots of time to
I think
play it.
Animal Crossing is probably coming out.
I mean,
anyway.
look, we wouldn't all we certainly
play
wouldn't
it.
all be together if we were like doing it, spending as much time together
and
as
you
we
probably-
did.
Or making a podcast.
Yeah,
Or making a podcast.
And I don't know if you actually would have ever gone to a drive-in, actually, because there are still a couple like of like actual like legacy drive-ins, but they're really far away, and so we always go, yeah, we should go to the drive-in sometime, and we just never have.
I mean,
They're pretty far
I'd
away.
never been to a drive-in ever. This is the first time I went. Was when you went.
You've never been?
No, we didn't have them.
Oh gosh,
They're
yeah,
gone.
I guess you're right, because I think the last movie I ever saw at a drive-in back in the day was like Cannonball Run 2. that was like 1985.
Very memorable. Very memorable.
That was the last time, but it was the first time I went to one that like streamed, or that you listened through a radio. Otherwise, it was a speaker that like hooked up to your window, and
Sounded terrible.
by the end, it sounded terrible. And by the end of like the run of drive-ins, they just didn't work. I remember I went to a double feature of E.T. and the Black Crystal, and we had to, I think, move to like 4 different speakers, and you're going through potholes. So I guess drive-ins sound better in theory than in practice, maybe. But we enjoy the Hollywood Legion.
Yeah, they're good. And plus, we get unlimited popcorn for the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Which is really all that matters. That's all you
Yes.
care about.
And the M&Ms.
You suffer through the movies for the free M&Ms.
And M&Ms and
Yeah.
popcorn.
I feel like we should hit them up for some advertising money after that.
I know.
But support them.
So, Gable, I think we're at that point where we normally get, where I ask you, how many Gable, this is Gable frowns, I suppose. How many Gable smiles do we give the movie?
I'm not allowed to do halves.
Nope.
No halves.
1 to 5. It's not Jeopardy, honey. You don't have to. It's not the. You're not going to get $1 million if you get the right answer. I mean, I can sing the music if that helps, though. That puts a time on it.
2.5.
2.5.
2.5. We said no halves.
Yeah, that's really.
Did you liked it
decimal.
better? You liked it better than it's still at half. Did you like it better than Devil in a Blue Dress?
Yes.
Which you gave 2 to? I see. Would you would you recommend it? Okay, keeping in mind that maybe like somebody like Akiva, who's been in karate for years, would you recommend it?
Probably 10 and up.
10
Maybe
and up?
11 and up.
11 and up?
10 or 11.
Okay.
Depending on the child.
But would you recommend it?
Maybe. I guess depending on the person.
Okay.
I think the correct answer to that question, Gable, was show enough. You blew it. You blew it, kid. You really blew it.
Sorry.
Set it up for you right there. You could've just done it.
Sorry.
Show enough. Thank you so much to D'eric for helping us out.
Yes, thank you. I don't know if I would have ever. I missed it, back in the day. Which this seems like the type of movie that would have played on cable all the time.
It was on cable constantly.
I just never, I just never ended up watching it. I have to say though, like Vanity was engaged to Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue at one time, so I was very jealous of her. So I probably wouldn't have watched it
Out of spite.
Out of spite, because I was so jealous of Vanity being engaged to Nikki Sixx.
How'd that work out?
They did not get married.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah. I have to say, though, Nikki Sixx in some article wanted people to write letters to him, letting him know what we thought of his engagement to Vanity. So I wrote him a letter letting him know what I thought, and I cited Nancy Wilson of Heart trash talking Vanity, and so I included a citation in my letter at age 11.
You had library
Yes,
End
in
notes?
your mind.
I did. I totally sourced it and had an end note in my letter to Nikki
Ridiculous.
Sixx. Why
who I'm
my
married to.
Vanity was not
This is my life,
appropriate.
folks. It's my life.
But yeah, I never watched it. So thank you, D'eric, because I enjoyed it tremendously.
I think next week we're back to regular programming.
Let me see.
We did. I think. Are we doing?
Yes, we are.
Are we doing? Sunset
Boulevard? Yes.
I think, right?
Yes, because we saw Sunset Boulevard at the Hollywood Legion. So, yes, I think we are going to discuss. Yes, we're going to do Sunset Boulevard.
Do you have a preview of that? How'd you feel about Sunset Boulevard?
No, just spoilers, Dada.
Spoilers. Fair
in
enough.
Case, people are going to want to listen to it, and then we're going to have to...
Well, you're going to have to listen to no matter what, your mom and I are going to drone on and on about it because we both love it.
We both love it.
So, get it together, kid. Do we have to show it to you again so you're fresh on it?
No.
Because I can watch it again.
Yeah, I can watch it right now.
I can watch it.
You know what?
I can watch it right now.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to just keep recording.
In 2 days.
And we'll just watch it and we'll just sit here and watch it while being recorded.
No.
I can watch it, yeah.
Let's do it.
I can watch it today. I can watch it tomorrow. I can watch it after we record the podcast.
We have a bunch of stuff to do, but instead of that, we'll just do that.
Yes.
No.
Live stream.
No.
Yep. Cool.
No.
That's what we do from now on. Welcome to the Little Miss Sunset Boulevard podcast.
Yep.
No.
It's nothing but.
No.
Gable, are you ready for your close-up?
No.
I think you need to be.
I'm ready for more Harry Potter movies, but that's all.
No.
Harry Potter.
There's many more. There's 2 more and you won't watch them.
What do you...
What?
Oh, yeah.
The Fantastic Beasts.
And this
If you're listening and you like these Fantastic Beasts movies, please tell us because we can't get her to watch them, despite the fact that all she talks about is loving Harry Potter.
I started reading it and it got bored.
Yeah, but the book isn't the same as the movies, is it?
Aren't the books reference books?
Yeah, the movie is not a reference book. That would be weird. It'd be very strange.
That would be a boring movie.
I don't know. I love reference books. I'd like to see how a reference book turned into a movie. I'm kind of down with that.
You want MLA?
I know it's
about
about
MLA
Dumbledore.
turned into.
I know it's about Dumbledore doing some fighting.
I'm more a Chicago Manual of Style.
Yeah.
I know that it's partly about Dumbledore fighting stuff.
Maybe you should watch it.
I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know.
They're making Cursed Child movies, though, I think.
They are?
Aren't they?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I dreamt it.
I want that.
Sorry.
I want that.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for listening once again.
Yes.
We're a little bit late getting this episode out this week, but
We're sorry about that.
Well,
we hope you enjoyed it much.
Because
I had food poisoning. Is that why?
there was that. Was that? No, that was earlier. I can't keep track of all that food poisoning.
No, because Daddy had food poisoning.
it
We're
was
going to
because of
record and
cookies.
Daddy got food poisoning.
No, it's because of cookies.
Oh, right. And it's also
It's cookies.
Girl Scout cookie
It's Girl
season.
Scout cookie season, and
I'm a Girl Scout.
Gable's a Girl Scout. I am the troop cookie chair. So over the weekend, I had to go to the Santa Anita racetrack to pick up 300 cases of Girl Scout cookies for our troop. So and I was exhausted.
And whatever you do, don't go to tinyurl.com/GSGLA
cookies 2021. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Whatever you do, because it's immoral for me to even recommend that to anybody.
It probably is.
Probably. Thank you
for a good
guys
cause.
so much for listening. We will see you next time.
week.
Next time.
Bye.
Bye.
The Little Miss Movies podcast is hosted by Christina Rice, Gable Fialkov, and me, Josh Fialkov. We're recorded, mixed, and produced in North Hollywood, California. Series art by Gabo. Episode art by Gable Fialkov. Theme song by Gibby and the V's. All contents copyright 2021. Valeria Shines Inc. Visit us online for more at littlemissmovies.com. Show enough.